We continue to preview 2021 free agency. Today, Shaun O'Hara and I will take a look at the offensive line spot. Shaun, Shane Lemieux, a rookie. Will Hernandez, still on his rookie contract. Andrew Thomas, the 4th overall pick last year. So how do you see this group and where they can look to try to make some improvements heading into 2021?
Yeah, John, it's interesting what the difference a year makes. This time last year, obviously the Giants were looking at tackles and they ended up drafting 2. I look at the youth, and you have to love the fact that Shane Lemieux stepped right under the scene, right next to Andrew Thomas, and along with Nick Gates, who was making his first year as a full-time starter. They've solidified that side of the offensive line. So I really look at the Giants. They are light years ahead of where they were at this point in time last year. Now the question mark with Cam Fleming being a free agent is, what are we doing at right tackle? And I think when you look at Matt Parrott, I thought they put him on the field and he showed that he can keep up and he can play at this level.
So let's take a look at some of the guys, Shaun, that could be available in free agency. Trent Williams is at the top of the offensive tackle list. Career left tackle. Going to be very expensive, so we didn't put him on here. But here are 4 guys that have played on the right side, 2 of which, by the way, were drafted by Dave Gettleman during his time in Carolina.
Yeah, let's start right there, because if you're Dave Gettleman, you say, I know a lot about these guys, not just as football players, but as men, because he's got the background on them. So Darrell Williams, he ended up playing as a rookie down in Carolina. He played both sides, left and right tackle. Did a great job up in Buffalo. So no doubt he would be an instant starter. Taylor Moton, he's the guy that I remember watching coming out of college, and I loved his athletic ability. He did a great job at right tackle last year. He was the best offensive lineman for the Carolina Panthers. This guy over here, Alejandra Villanueva, is an interesting guy because he's kind of a self-made guy. He wasn't a highly drafted player. He kind of built himself into a franchise left tackle, and he had a little bit of an up and down season last year. I think he's a very solid starter, and when you look at him, even though he played left tackle at Pittsburgh, I think he would probably be better suited on the right side.
But if you're not looking for a starter, Shaun, and maybe the Giants are thinking, all we need is a swing tackle, a guy that can play that role that Cam Fleming was brought in to play last year before the Nate Solder opt-out. Well, here are some options of guys that have starting experience, can play both sides, can start or be your swing tackle.
Yeah, and let's start with Mike Remmers. This would be a rerun for him because he was with the Giants a couple of years ago, as most people remember. So for him to come back, would provide a lot of that versatility as well. Cam Robinson is an interesting player. A high draft pick down in Jacksonville, started out as a rookie at left tackle and really kind of earned his stripes, tore at ACL and then bounced back from that. And I think he possesses a lot of ability, and I'd be curious to see if he could play both sides of the tackle position. And of course, James Hurst, this guy he could slide in and play guard if you need him to. He's kind of one of those great guys to have as a 6th man off the bench because he can really fill a lot of voids.
All right, let's take a look at the guard position very quickly, Shaun. We talked about it. 2 young guys, Will Hernandez and Shane Lemieux. Maybe you're looking for some veteran help. And of course, another connection here. We had the connections to Dave Gettleman. Here's a connection to Joe Judge with Joe Thuney.
Yeah, and Joe Thuney, look, I think when you look at what Joe can bring to the table, he could slide in and play center too. So when you look at him, he was one of the best guards in football and didn't get as much credit. He's not the biggest guy, the most massive guy, but man, he certainly is athletic, does a great job at the second level and getting out in space.
Folks, that's a look at the offensive line, offensive tackles and guards, what the Giants might think about in free agency in 2021. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time.